Hey everybody, John from Movie Burners here, and today I'm going to be discussing the 2014 release Dawn of the Planet of the Apes from director Matt Reeves. I obviously touched upon this briefly in episode 3 of the podcast the other day, and I thought I'd do a more in-depth retro review. The film picks up 10 years on from the events seen in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and following the pandemic of the ALZ-113 virus, it would be fair to say things haven't went well for humanity. Their numbers are greatly reduced and they're separated into various small colonies with commodities and power proving to be scarce. The last stand, if you will, plucky resistance and refusal to be wiped out by the simian flu is all that is really stopping the apes from taking complete control. Indeed, as the name suggests, much of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes focuses primarily on Caesar and his leadership. Both him and his group of increasingly intelligent primates have built an extensive settlement, carved out a self-sufficient existence in the woodland not far from San Francisco, and they have a basic education system in place and a wonderful, intelligent verbal sign language mixed communication. All is well, but it's not long before their peaceful existence is disturbed when a small group of humans led by Malcolm run into two scouting apes. Things go awry to say the least when Carver develops an itchy trigger finger and shoots one in panic, invoking the wrath of the entire colony down upon them. Caesar, being a stern but highly intelligent and ultimately compassionate leader, warns him off, sending a few apes to follow. Trouble is, this scouting team were heading into the hills to inspect and try to kickstart a hydroelectric plant back into life. With a limited power supplies only a few weeks from running out, this is really their only chance of potentially restoring full power to the city again, preserving their way of life and opening up communications with any distant survivors that may be out there. Which explains the frankly moronic decision by Malcolm to return afterwards with his family and a few others to try and reason with Caesar. After informing Dreyfus of the incident amidst much panic and agitation back at the city, and also getting a visit from the apes shortly afterwards in an impressive show of strength to ram home the stay clear message, they come to the conclusion that they must try and convince the charismatic Caesar into allowing them access to the dam anyway. And that's really the superficial premise of the story. It focuses on the initially uneasy relationship between Caesar and the small party of humans led by Malcolm, with their admiration, friendship and common purposes both growing and becoming apparent as the story progresses, whilst alternatively showing the other side and ideology of the former's rival Cobra, his deeply set hatred of humans, what he believes is weakness from his leader and desire for conquest. On the human side of this ideological divide is Dreyfus. He's not quite as blinkered by sheer hatred as the tortured Cobra, but puts out a call of arms nonetheless with self-preservation and an untrusting attitude towards the apes, ever present if slightly hidden to begin with. In terms of acting in this film, there's quite a few very good showings and a strong ensemble performance, and one truly great performance. Andy Serkis is utterly incredible as the conflicted, charismatic Caesar. He displays a range of emotions throughout, from beautiful, tender moments and sadness to flashes of anger and frustration. He acts with his eyes, his body, and the few words he properly speaks are powerful. The man is the mocap master, and a genuine great of our times in that regard. Elsewhere, Jason Clarke has the meatiest role of the other human characters and is generally very good. I also enjoyed Gary Oldman's relatively short time on screen, whilst the brilliant Toby Kebbell was excellent as the villainous Cobra. An honourable mention must also be given to Cody Smith-McPhee's portrayal as Malcolm's son Alexander. He had quite a few good scenes. The visuals were phenomenal from the opening shot onwards. Little details like the ape's coat matting in the rain were captured beautifully. I actually forgot that I was looking at CG characters after a while, such was the quality of the visuals and the soul and emotion the characters imbued each of them with. Despite being ultimately beautiful, the visuals thankfully never defined Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, with the story really taking prominence over that particular aspect. I particularly liked the way this film had slow-paced, deathly silent, tender moments before bursting into real explosive action. Of course, the final 45 minutes pretty much transformed purely into an action film when Cobra wrestled control of the colony after shooting Caesar and waging all-out war upon them. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a pretty clear political allegory, with connotations to the recent conflicts in Libya and Iraq springing to mind. It also is about conflict both within Caesar himself and more generally between the apes and humans, with two distinct ideologies fighting out for superiority throughout. Thankfully, Caesar is more pure of heart than his real-life counterparts, and chooses to remain faithful to his beliefs when faced with inner conflict and the realities of life after rebellion, even if it does mean contradicting his mantra of ape not killing ape, in an effort to prevent the apes from turning into the human captives they escaped. Ultimately, I love this film. It had everything really, including an intelligent story to complement the visuals and action. I would have no hesitation in recommending this to anybody that hasn't yet had the chance to see it. You certainly won't be disappointed, and I'm going to be giving it a 4 out of 5. Thanks for listening, guys, and be sure to go on to movieburnerentertainment.org for more content like this, and follow us at Movie Burners on Twitter and Facebook. Goodbye.